Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Did Hunter Biden commit a crime?
Proud of my son.
Are you confident that Hunter did nothing wrong?
I'm confident.
You still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation and a smear campaign, like you said?
Yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony.
Laughing all the way to the bank. That was President Biden repeatedly denying discussing foreign business deals with his son Hunter. The House Oversight Committee now releasing more WhatsApp messages purportedly sent by Hunter Biden, this time to a Chinese energy company associate. Here's the WhatsApp message. In 2017, he writes this: $10 million per annum budget to use to further the interest of this JV. This move to $5 million is completely news to me and is not acceptable, obviously. I can make $5 million in salary at any law firm in America. If you think it's about money, it's not. The Bidens are the best I know at doing exactly what the chairman wants from this partnership. Joining me right now is Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. He's a member of the Oversight and Armed Services Committees. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. You have uncovered a whole host of important things here, and we want to get more from you on what this says. When he says $10 million invested in this JV, he's talking to a company tied to the Communist Party of China, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely, Maria. You know, and it's funny that Joe Biden in 2019, when he was running for president, built this firewall that said, I have no idea what my son does. But we've known that to be patently false, where he has met with scores of Hunter's business associates. And furthermore, they co-located in office together after he got out of the vice presidency in 2017. So he's absolutely lying, and now they're lying upon lies. And as my mom said, what a tangle web we weave.
Yeah, but I mean, these Chinese executives from CEFC and all of these other companies that he's taken money in from, they can't possibly pay for just, you know, having a seat next to Joe Biden, the then vice president, or, you know, having the vice president come for a meeting. What specifically were they paying for? Were there actual policy decisions that Joe Biden made in response to the Chinese Communist Party?
Well, clearly, you know, because you ask yourself, what service or product did the Bidens provide or sell? And the only thing that comes out is it's influence peddling or access. And obviously, well, the thing about who Hunter Biden is, he was by all accounts a failed adult. And then suddenly he's being paid millions of dollars by foreign nationals. Why would they do that, Maria? They're doing that to gain access to his father for policy decisions that favor themselves and favor their companies. And it was not only China, it's Romania, you've got Ukraine, and it's something that has been, there's a pattern here, and it's absolutely criminal. I read the 1023 last week, and it convinced me now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Joe Biden is corrupt and he's compromised.
Wow, that's unbelievable. That is a serious statement. Your chairman, James Comer, of the House Oversight Committee, told me that he's zeroing in on, I think he said, 9 decisions that President Biden made that could be questionable, that maybe he was paid for. So I want to know, as soon as he walked into the White House as president, this term, he canceled the China initiative. Was he paid for it?
Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't know. Is he compromised? I thought it was very odd when he said, when he was president-elect, that a strong and prosperous China is in the United States' best interest. And I thought to myself, no, it's not. That's exactly what the Chinese Communist Party would want a president of the United States to say. And then with the 1023, he, with Victor Shokin, was investigating Burisma, who his son just happened to be on the board, being paid $50,000 a month and allegedly $5 million by the CEO to Hunter and $5 million to Joe. And what did Joe Biden do? He held back $1 billion worth of aid until that prosecutor was fired, and they have never been investigated since.
Well, there you go.
That's awfully suspicious.
That's what I'm talking about. Decisions that are actually favoring our adversaries or a foreign national and pocketing the money for it, Todd Pyro.
And that's the follow-up that I have to your question, Maria, is obviously we've been getting this drip. Today we're talking about the WhatsApp messages, and later on this week there's going to be another part of the drip. But in Congress, on your committees, are you doing the linking of which Maria explained? This quid pro quo, if you will, linking of the policy with the money. Is that happening in meetings that you and your Republican colleagues are having right now, Congressman?
Yes, and thank you. That's a great question, because what this is it's a bunch of pieces of a puzzle. Unfortunately for the Bidens, they're all fitting together perfectly now. What the whistleblowers have told us, what we've seen from the bank records, and what we've seen from the 1023, and now with this WhatsApp and the laptop, it all confirms what we suspect. None of it is contradictory. It all supports the fact that they've been selling influence and they've been peddling access.
Well, then we want to know about obstructing justice and putting your finger on the scale, because that's the other issue that we're talking about. It's the influence peddling on the one hand, accepting money from foreign nationals, as the vice president and his family allegedly has done. But it's also the DOJ and FBI hiding it and covering it up. What can you tell us there?
Well, we've got whistleblowers from the IRS and from the FBI that are saying that their feet were dragged on purpose. The Bidens or somebody high up was saying, no, we don't want to ask those questions. We don't want to go down that path. And you can see it from Hunter Biden's plea deal. If you're in possession of a firearm when you have that substance abuse issues, and that in and of itself is 4 years in prison, and then not paying for millions of dollars worth of income and paying no taxes. Wesley Snipes did 3 years for that. So he should be getting somewhere between 4 and 7 years. And if it's only probation, this is completely proof positive of a two-tier justice system.
Right. Meanwhile, they're trying hard to put Donald Trump in jail right before the presidential election. We've got Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis visiting the southern border this week, meanwhile, unveiling his plan to stop the invasion. I spoke with the former acting ICE director, Tom Homan, about this. Here's what he said. Watch.
If you're going to quote the Trump playbook, I think you should at least mention his name.
Congressman Tom Homan was going on to say that under Donald Trump, apprehensions at the border were at a 45-year low. Now they're at a 20-year high. So you've got potential corruption in this administration and the White House, but you also have ineptitude. I mean, what's going on at the border, and how much of a national security risk are we faced with?
Well, we have corruption and then incompetence. We have never seen, Maria, a month where we had 200,000 illegal border crossings in our history. We've seen now 13 months with Joe Biden with over 200,000. We have 7 million people that have crossed the border illegally. We've had 75,000 fentanyl deaths just last year alone. 30,000 known criminals this fiscal year have the last 2 fiscal years have crossed the border, and tens of thousands of Russians and Chinese. And again, we don't know who they are. So, yeah, it's not even a crisis anymore. It's cataclysmic.
Well, I mean, when you mention these apprehensions of Russians and Chinese, I want to go back to that for a second, because, Congressman, the number of Chinese nationals apprehended at the southern border, and again, this is the ones we know of, up 1,300% year over year. Now, I spoke with some border agents, and they told me that the people that they're apprehending, they're largely engineers. They're military-age men coming into the country, getting apprehended, we don't know where they're going, but they're here in America. What is Xi Jinping up to? Is this being directed by Chinese Communist Party, or do you think that they're trying to escape from the CCP by coming into America? Do we know?
No, we don't know. And let's just say, Maria, that 80–90% of them are just trying to escape communist China, but there's 5 or 10% that are here to do nefarious things. And let's not make no mistake, the 75,000 fentanyl deaths, most of the fentanyl is made in China and then carried through Mexico. That's about 300 deaths a day. That's the numbers that we saw during World War II. This is asymmetrical warfare being waged by our greatest geopolitical adversary.
Well, I mean, it's not far. It's not a reach to ask. I mean, after all, we had COVID-19 escaping from a Wuhan lab and a cover-up by the CCP. We had a surveillance balloon travel to America and send military secrets back in real time. We've got police stations here throughout America that are CCP. And now you've got a 1,300% increase in Chinese nationals coming through the wide open border.
Yeah, no, the only president in our lifetime that has taken it to the Chinese Communist Party is Donald Trump. No Republican or no Democrat has, and Joe Biden is enabling them. And I'm absolutely tired of it. What Joe Biden has done is made every state a border state. Texas alone, my state, has spent $4.5 billion with a B, on trying to secure a border. Yeah. And that's the federal government's job.
I know you have. I know the program's underway, and Greg Abbott's doing a great job. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Pat Fallon in Texas. Thank you, sir.